welcome. My name is Luann, and you are in my little apartment here, and we're going to do some invitations to my live, and there we go. And then we're going to put on some makeup today. So I'm going to, let's start with this color here. We're going to do that one, I believe. And I'm going to get this, and then I'll get all my little things out here. So let's start. Actually, I want to start with this eye balm. This is from Amazon. We don't, Lime Life does not have an eye balm like this. At least not yet. Someday they might, because, you know, we come up with new products all the time. So I'm going to start with this eye balm because I have found that the corners of my eyes particularly have gotten so insanely dry. And because it's a balm, it's like chapstick for your eyes. So it's not just a moisturizer. I already have moisturizer on there, but this balm puts a coat. But you see, it's a solid stick. I don't even know what this is called. It is a generic version of some other expensive kind. It is called EELHOE. Eelhole. It is a vitamin C eye balm. Vitamin C eye balm. So you can probably look for that on Amazon or whatever. And you'll find you that. And it comes in this little tube like this if you want an eye balm. And I'm only using that because, like I said, the corners, and this one it's gotten here too, it has gotten to be so dry that it just drives me crazy. And then I'm putting powder on. Because I'm putting powder on my eyes, it's like worse. Oh, you know what I'm going to put on today? I'm not going to put the powder. I'm going to put on, I have these liquid. These are limited edition, and I don't even think we have them anymore. I think they're goners, and I'm going to use it today, though, because it's not powder. If I can find the one that's the color I want. There it is. Purpley one to go with my purple clues. All right, so that's what I'm going to use. And, oh, I hear birds cheeping outside. It has been pouring rain, and the birds are happy. I think it gets the frogs and the bugs and everything up out of the grass, and I think they're out there feasting. Okay, so let's put that back down. I've got 4 colors of that, and I just wanted the purple one. It is called Disco. The purple one. All right, now let's put on. I'm going to use my foundation here. This is number 7. And I'm going to do today, I'm going to use and make it my, I'm going to use my oil, facial oil called Due Date. I had an open one somewhere and I cannot find it. Cannot find it. Oh, but you know what I could do? I could do, oh, maybe I'll do this instead of the foundation. Oh yeah, because I'm just home. So I don't need a lot of fanciness today. Let's do simple, easy, plain. You can put this facial oil on. I'm actually not going to now because I'm going to use these. These are moisturizing illuminator. It's an illuminator. So what this is, it's like a moisture with color in it, and it's a little bit of a glow. They're called glow drops. And these are 2 different colors. This is bronze, and this one is champagne. And you see this one's a little bit darker. And I really kind of feel like I'm in between a little bit. So I'm going to use bronze. Oh, that's probably way too much, but that's all right. And then above that, see, above that I have champagne. So they're 2 different colors, and I'm going to mix them on my hand. But you see, it's totally liquid. But see how much shimmer that has in there? This will give you a glow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm going to pat that on. I didn't even use my primer spray, but that's all right. Because this is really not hardly makeup. Oh, I have way too much bronze. Oh, gosh, do I have way too much of the bronze. So, I needed champagne a whole lot more, didn't I? I think that is crazy dark. Oh my God, it's crazy dark. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to wipe some of it off. As a matter of fact, maybe I should wipe all of it off. Definitely going to wipe some of it off. It's too dark. So, I'm not really the bronze color, as we can tell. So sometimes this is how you tell. What I needed to do was use the tiniest little drop of that bronze, and I didn't. It's when I squirted it, too much came out. So you know what? Doesn't matter. So we will take off the little bit. It's a little bit too dark. And we're going to start over, and we're just going to use this one that's champagne. So this is the Glow Drops. right there. Definitely don't need something darker than this champagne. Oh yeah. I really think over the winter, I lost a little color that I had from last summer. And summer's coming though, so maybe I'll get that back. But sometimes, if you get a little darker, you get a lighter, you get to where you're like, oh, I didn't remember what color I was. Oh, and apparently it is not this one. But that's why it is helpful sometimes to have a little bit of darker and a little bit of lighter. Because if you get out in the sun or you quit going out in the sun, you change color a little bit, then you can alter it a little bit. All right, so there we go. So there is our champagne colored glow drops. You see it really has plenty of color for me in that. And it is very glowy, but I'm going to tone it down a little bit with my powder. But first we're going to do, let's do the other concealer. I haven't done these in a while. This is my liquid concealer. This is number 6. It's kind of a medium tone. And I'm going to use that today because it's all kind of softer. This doesn't have as much pigment, quite as much pigment. It's very high in pigment, but not quite as much as our wax base. So these liquids like this are very popular. Hello, Holly. So I'm using the liquid one today. I just haven't used it in a while. And it is real nice and thick, and it is incredibly moisturizing. If you have a tendency to have drier eyes, you want this one because it's more moisturizing. Makeup in storms. Well, because it was storming outside. Just because it's just a weather announcement, that's all. Hello. I thought, what can I call it today? I'm just doing makeup. I guess I could have named it, I'm just doing makeup. But I thought, okay, what's going on? Oh, storms. Storms are happening. Although it's kind of stopped right now. But this whole, all the way through next Saturday is showing me thunderstorms, 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 thunderstorms. Well, it's starting our rainy season, June. So here we go. Let the rains begin. Hopefully it will eventually stop enough for me to get in the pool in the morning. Yeah, that's all it is. So, I am using all the super moisturizing stuff today. Now, the wax base one, I usually wear that to work because it does cover even better than this. But this one, so you have to weigh kind of what you want. You want super, super coverage, but this is less aging looking too. It shows less wrinkle crinkles. And makeup can emphasize wrinkle crinkles. I just making up that phrase. It can emphasize it, but it can give better coverage. So what do you want? Do you want better coverage, but it might have a little bit more aging? Or do you not want it to look aging and you want more moisture, but it isn't quite as good a coverage? So you can just decide. Although this is pretty good coverage. I do find that the wax base has more endurance as well. So, in other words, it looks absolutely fantastic right now. But by the end of the day, it might wear off a little bit more than the wax does. Because wax... So here's the thing, the difference in liquid and wax. There's many differences. But one of the differences is, first of all, wax looks really like natural skin. Because it's not too shiny or too dull. But one of the things about liquid makeup is your skin absorbs it. Just like if you put water, liquid, you put moisturizer, anything that's liquidish, your skin absorbs it. And so what happens during the day, if you're wearing liquid makeup, your skin just keeps drinking it in, keeps absorbing it. So by the end of the day, it's going to be a little faded, and it's going to be, you're going to lose a little coverage because you're absorbing it. It's part of the reason. And the wax-based makeup, your skin can't absorb wax because the molecules are too big. Can't absorb it, and it doesn't soak into your skin. It sets on top of your skin. So you're going to lose much less of wax makeup. Wax-based. Plant wax, not candle wax. So it doesn't feel like wax at all. It feels like nothing. It's amazing because it's plant-based. But liquid will keep, your body will keep absorbing it. Just like if you put any liquid on your skin. I mean, moisturizer, you want to absorb it. That's what you want it to do. Now, this does have skincare in it. So it is, like I said, doesn't have quite the endurance that the wax has, because you're going to be absorbing it throughout the day, and eventually at the end of the day, it's going to be a little faded coverage of any liquid. But if you're going to do something short term, like you were giving a presentation, you're going live, you're streaming, you're going to like speak at church or anywhere, you know, you're going to sing, you're going to do something that, you know, is going to take you an hour or 2, 3 hours or something, this will last fine. But if you want like 12-hour coverage, because you're doing them all day long, wax is better. But the wax also is not drying. So it is not the wax that's actually the problem. My skin is dry right here is the problem. So you can put this on your skin. It's not going to make you drier. So the makeup doesn't make your skin drier, except powder can. But the wax makeup does not make your skin drier. But my eyes are so dry that it's the skin that makes my skin dry. So what the problem with your eye area, as opposed to the rest of your skin, is the rest of your skin has oil production, unless your oil production is really deficient. And then you can put oil on. You can put that facial oil on. It's like a dry oil. And you can even put that a little bit around your eyes. But you have to be careful with it, because you don't want it in your eyes. So you have to be a little careful with the placement and how much you put on. But the issue with the eye skin does not have oil glands. So your eye skin does not make oil. And so it cannot moisturize itself throughout the day. Now, when I was young, when my skin was so oily that it would migrate from like here and here, especially since I had to wear glasses. So what happens when you put on glasses is you're creating a little terrariums. You're creating little greenhouses. You're creating heat. So if you've ever worn glasses, especially in a hot climate or outdoors, you will notice, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You will notice that your eye area feels hot, especially if you take it off and you feel it. That's because you've got glass and it's absorbing heat, and it's creating a little, like a little heater. It's creating like a little, let's say, like, you know, if you put something in a thermos, or you put something in, what do you call the thing? What do you call the thing you put food in? You know, the little styrofoam cooler. Only you can use coolers as heaters, especially if you put foil in them. But it just creates its own little oven. So that's what glasses can do. So what would happen when I was younger, when I had so much oil, it would migrate. So I would get oil from up here, and it would like go down here, or it would come up here. So I would get oil on this skin because it migrated from the rest of my skin. Well, I don't make that much oil anymore. I do make some, but I was overproducing oil. So I had bad acne when I was young. But I don't overproduce oil anymore. Maybe even underproduce it a little. That's why we got stuff to put on. But it no longer migrates to my eyes, because there's just not enough of it to do that. And you really don't want it to migrate to your eyes. And I'll tell you why. If you ever get your face oil, not oil you put on, but the oil your skin makes, if you have ever made enough oil that it migrates to your eyes and you get it in your eye, it burns like fire. It's like getting soap in your eye. It burns so bad if you get your own facial oil in your eye. So it's really annoying. But it does keep your eye skin from getting a wrinkle real early. That's why I'm 62 years old and I do not have a lot of wrinkles. Now I have under here, and that's mostly from sagging skin though. But I don't really have hardly crow's feet. And I've seen people in their 30s that have bad crow's feet. That's from dry skin. But because I created so much oil that it migrated, even though it would burn if it got in my eye, I hardly have wrinkles around my eyes other than the saggy caused by sag. But I don't have wrinkles. And the dermatologist told me when I was a teenager, And I was so distraught about this horrible acne. He's like, well, you won't wrinkle early. You think I cared about that at 14? No. But do you think I'm glad about it now? Yeah. I'm very glad about it now. But tell a 14-year-old you won't wrinkle early. They're like, and you've got this stuff all over your face now. Like, I want this gone. I don't want that. You won't wrinkle when you're older. I do not care. No, you do. You do. But you don't then. So I'm now going to use powder, and I'm going to set all this. But he was right. He was right. Because oil helps prevent wrinkles. And again, if you don't make a lot of facial oil, or don't make it anymore, comes in a bottle. And it is actually healthier for you than your own facial oil, because that's if you get too much facial oil, meaning your own production, has a lot of sebum in it, causes acne. I was living proof of that. So these oils, this facial oil, does not clog pores, doesn't have sebum, doesn't clog your skin, doesn't cause acne. And it will, good facial oil will keep your face from making its own oil. Because what your skin is trying to do, if you're overproducing oil, it's trying to moisturize itself. And it's really quite a paradox, because I always thought, oh, I have such oily skin, such oily skin, such oily skin. And I read recently that what your skin is trying to do is moisturize itself. Because your skin is actually dry. And I'm like, no. When I first heard that, I had oily skin. When I was probably, I don't know, I was in elementary school. I didn't have acne in elementary school. I wasn't in puberty in elementary school. But when I was really young, the pediatrician told my mother I had such oily skin, even when I was a kid. Which I didn't know. I didn't know the difference. But the doctor said her skin is so oily, when she gets to be a teenager, she will have a problem with acne. He was right. Because of the oil. Well, I did not know that your skin overproduces oil because it's trying to moisturize itself. No idea. Because they would say, oh, even if you have oily skin, you need moisturizer. I'd be like, no, I don't. I'm like dripping. I don't need, yes, you did. I did not know you could stop that by actually moisturizing it first. If you beat it before it started making that oil for the day, if you could beat your skin checks itself. Your skin, that's why it's making oil, because it checks itself and goes, oh, I'm dry. So the problem is it's overdoing it. And some people just have a flaw or something, an imperfection, that it overdoes it. And then you get acne. And my skin was apparently overdoing it when I was a kid. But I didn't have any evidence of dry skin because it was just gushing oil. All right, let's do, this is number 1 alive. My favorite. And let's put that on. And I didn't do contour today. I'm doing very simple. Yeah, it does make sense. Well, I had heard that before, but you also have to be careful. You can't just like put baby oil or something on. Not good for your skin. It's cloggy. But you want a good oil that actually is made for your face and won't clog. And this has sunflower oil. What has this got in it? Palmarosa and sunflower oil. It's got other oils in it too. But you want something that's actually good for your skin that will moisturize it, not make it feel greasy and oily like something's going to slide off of it. You don't want to fry an egg on your face. I used to have an uncle. I got this from the Pygott side of the family. This oily skin because my mother did not have it. But Pygotts had extremely oily skin. I used to have an uncle, one of my uncles, no longer living. But one of my uncles used to say, if I could go out in the heat, I could fry an egg on my face. I inherited that. But I guess most of the Pygotts did. And I think that was probably from my grandfather's side too. Because my grandmother didn't have well, did she have oily skin when she was young? I don't think so. Be right back. Okay. All right, now I am going to also do the quick dry method of brows, meaning you don't have to use the setting spray or water if you don't want. You can put on dry, because if you put the setting spray on afterward, it'll still lock it in place. But you do have to start with a darker color. You have to match yourself exact. Rather than start with lighter, that's going to be darker. And that can take a time or two to guess your right color. Although I might could guess it because I'm used to doing it. Because when you get it wet, it will darken and it will actually stay dark, interestingly enough. I don't really quite understand how that works, because if you get it wet in the pan and it dries, it will stay the color it always is. But if you put it on and get it wet, it stays dark. Okay, I don't get it. It's just what it does. It doesn't dry. When it dries, it doesn't dry lighter on you. But if it dries back in the pan, it dries back to its real color. So, explain that to me. Maybe it has to do with the oils in your skin. Okay, so we're just putting this on a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit here. But this, even it looks like I have full makeup on, I just have on glow drops, which is really like it's called an illuminator. So it's a moisturizing glow drops. It's what it's called. Moisturizing, kind of a shimmer color. Thank you. This is my It's Getting Hot hairdo. It gets hot here, I put my hair up because it's so much cooler. All right, so there we go. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. There you go. I guess a little crooked. But this should give you hope that it's okay if it's a little crooked. So you can just fix it, or you can leave it crooked if you want. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? This one is just up a little higher than that one. You're doing well. Summer has arrived. Yeah, it's arrived here too. It was just absolutely storming rain a little earlier today. I had just decided last week that it might be close to warm enough to go in the pool here. And then it's thunderstorms. And it's showing thunderstorms all week, all through next Saturday. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going in the pool right now. Maybe eventually. At some point. Yes, indeed. Summer has arrived. Technically, it's not summer for 3 more weeks, though. It's like June 20th is summer. There we go. All right, there we go. We just blurred a little bit here in the beginning. It makes it look more natural. But this is Glow Drops, powder, blush, and our new concealer. Our new concealer is a liquid. This is a little bit like Shape Tape. If you've ever used, is it Tarte? I think Tarte Shape Tape. This is Lime Life's version of that. It's a really nice, heavier weight, not heavy feeling, but nice coverage of concealer. And this is number 6. Kind of a medium, and they're just numbered. Kind of a medium color. And I was good. I guessed my color on the first try. All right, now I'm going to use our limited edition, although I don't think they have them anymore. Limited edition of this eyeshadow. This is a purple color called Disco. There were 4 colors. They just come in this little, like I said, it was a limited edition thing, so just got this little thing of it. See if I can scoop it out of here. There we go. So this is it's like a shimmer purple. Ooh, pretty. I'm going to put that on today instead of anything elaborate. It's got a little glitter almost to it, like a very tiny glitter, which is less likely to irritate your eyes. You get a big chunk of glitter, you don't really want that. Okay. Get a little bit more. Go ahead and do the other side. This is the wrong hand to do that side. So this is just going to be real light. But since I'm not going anywhere today, and I'm kind of wearing purple toned a little bit. There we go. I'm going to just put on this little liquid shimmer eye color. These are kind of fun. Just so easy to put on. I mean, you could swipe it directly from that if you wanted to, but I feel like I can control it better if I use my hand. There you go. So I was thinking maybe I can do pool tomorrow, but the Weather Channel says thunderstorms in the morning. I'm like, okay. I guess no pool. We're gonna do the pool tomorrow either. Just when I decide maybe I can get in the pool. The weather says no, nope. No, you're not. Oh, okay. Thanks. But today when I went out to check, it was totally overcast and cloudy. It was very windy. Temperature had dropped, which that was awesome actually. Hi, Michelle. Holly stepped away. I don't know if she's back yet. Or she would say hi to you. When she gets back, I'm sure she will. But she just said, be right back a second ago. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to get it on where I can see it and where it looks somewhat even. Ooh, that's a pretty color. This would be fun for a party. Because that little bit of shimmer. Pretty, but it's not real dark. Got that on. Let's got it on my hand. More on my fingers. All right, now I also got it under my eye. The thing about purple, purple corrects sallowness. Sallow is a yellow color, so if you feel like you look dull or yellow, or even if you feel like your skin has it's not glowing and it's maybe, like I said, gray look to it or a dull look to it, or yeah, put purple. Purple is a brightener. My beautiful blue eyes stand out. Well, thank you. Purple works really well for that. It also works really well for green eyes. And it works for brown eyes because it's really a contrast to everything. It really works. Purple is a really pretty color. Green also looks really good on brown eyes too. Okay, so now we have all that. And like I said, you don't have to be real super perfect with that. Now I'm going to use eyeliner. This is a brown. I've gotten to where I'm sort of fond of the brown because the older you get, the more you don't want harsh eye stuff. And this is still a real dark brown. But unless you have real black hair or real dark eyes, like a real dark brown, black can sometimes be a little harsh and look, it can end up being a little aging, especially if you're blonde, have lighter hair, have lighter eyes. It can age you if you're older. It can actually age you if you're younger too. So if you feel like black is looking a little harsh on you, try dark brown. Because what happens is it doesn't really look brown. If it's a dark brown, it looks kind of black because I don't need that much of a contrast. Because I got pale eyes, even though I have dark hair. It's a little more springy, summery looking. The older you get, you don't want to weight your eyes down with dark color, because it will just pull your look down, and this lifts it up. So if you don't want dark makeup, unless you have dark black hair or dark eyes, then it might be okay, because it goes with the rest of your coloring. But if you have any lighter skin, lighter hair, lighter eyes, any combination thereof. Dark black will weight you down. And you do not want, the older you get, the less you want something pulling you down, pulling your skin, pulling your look down. You want lift, 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 everything lift. So I curl my lashes, then we're going to put on, you could even do brown mascara. We have a brown version of this, which is a one-step fiber mascara. You can do the brown of that. And I would recommend that if you are really light blonde or lighter red or have gray hair, I would recommend the brown. Now, if you used to have black hair and you went gray, you can probably still do the black mascara because that's more your natural coloring. Usually people with real black, I mean jet black hair, not really dark brown, but jet black, usually have cooler coloring. And black is a cool and brown is a warm. So brown, I had an aunt that had that. She was an aunt by marriage. She had jet black hair when she was young. And brown didn't look real good on her. It looked, she said, it looks like dirt. Yeah, because she didn't have that, she didn't have warm coloring at all. She was very cool. And so black, even though her hair wasn't black anymore because it had turned gray, but because she still had the colors that went with black, because that's what her hair had been. I once had a woman tell me that God didn't make mistakes. So when he put your hair and your eye and your skin colors together, it all matches. So if black hair used to match you, because you used to have it, then black eye mascara, you know, will still match. Because it goes with your skin, goes with your eyes, goes, you know, God didn't make a mistake. He doesn't make color mistakes. And she actually did. She even showed me. She like put on brown. I'm like, oh yeah, it looks like mud. But she could wear gray and black. And it looked fantastic on her. And she could also wear navy blue because it's actually a cool color too. As far as eyeliner, she could wear navy blue. She really liked that. She could wear charcoal, navy blue, and black. But brown was like, ooh, on her. So I think it depends on how close to warm is your coloring. I'm actually a neutral, slightly on the warm side. So I can wear black or brown. Because I'm kind of in the middle, and plus my hair is dark. Even though it is not naturally dark anymore. This dark comes from a bottle. But my natural color was close to this. It was, my hair was like a medium brown, medium to slightly dark brown. I try to get it back to the color it was naturally. So because I had darker hair, even though I have lighter eyes, although I have lighter eyes, but I also have dark in them. So my eyes, if you look, they have a dark midnight blue ring around them. So they're dark on the outside and they're light on the inside. So because there is a dark there though, dark hair, there's a dark ring around my eyes, I can still get away with black. Because there's some darkness. How do you know if you're warm or cool? There's a few ways to tell. They say if you look at your veins in your arm here, if they look purple, you're cool. If they look green, you're warm. Because you're looking at it through either cool colored or warm colored skin. If you can't tell, or if they're like, well, it's kind of in between, or I have some that look green and some that look blue, or purple. You might be neutral. So it's also a way that you can tell is if you sunburn very, 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 very easily and it doesn't turn to tan and you just peel and peel and peel, you're probably cool. If you can tan easily or used to could, you're probably warm. If you're not sure, you're probably neutral. So it kind of depends. Because there is a neutral. Like I said, and the way I can tell mostly is because I have all the makeup colors that Lime Life has. And the warm ones, the cool colors look pink on me. So if you put on makeup and it looks pink, pink, pink on, you know, a lot of them look, and you always, why do they always look pink? You're probably warm. And pink, everything looks pink on you. If everything looks orange on you, and you've tried orange, why is everything orange? You're probably cool. If it looks brown, like if you got too dark and it looks too brown, you're probably neutral. Especially if you put one on that's too dark. If you put one on that's too dark, and it depends on, you know, if you've ever bought, some of the makeup colors will tell you warm beige. Okay, well, it's telling you that's a warm. If you put on warm beige and it looks, or warm anything, and it looks orange, you're not warm. If you put on cool beige or something, anything called cool something, and it looks pink, you are not cool. If you put, like I said, you could either be warm, say, all right, so if you determine you're not cool, you're either neutral or warm. If you determine you're not warm, you're either neutral or cool. And like I said, I mostly figured it out from the colors, because the makeup colors we have will tell you whether it's a neutral, a warm, or a pink, or cool. And so the cool ones look bleh on me. Oh, calamine lotion, no. Pink, no. So I know I'm not cool. But some of the warm ones look a little too orange on me. But the neutral ones, perfect. And if I get one that says it's like neutral to warm, I can wear that too. So there's several ways to tell. If you look at your skin and you feel like it looks pink, now you have to be careful that you don't, that it's not a skin condition. If you feel like if you have rosacea, or you have where you blush easily, or you touch your skin, it turns red, that doesn't count. That's a reaction, or a condition, that's not an undertone. But if you have a pink undertone or a beige undertone, usually if you don't get the right color, it'll be orange. So you may either be cool or neutral. I might could look at a picture but the picture of you and tell, but it has to be like a picture in natural lighting. So in other words, the indoor lights, they change your color. So but you can't do direct sunlight either. So if direct sunlight is on you, it will kind of white you out a little bit. So you have to like stand in natural lighting, like if you stood facing a window, but not where the sun is directly coming at you, but where the sun is like going next to the window. So then if you're standing and take a selfie where you're getting the natural light, but not a direct sunbeam, if that makes sense. Or you could sit in a car and take your picture as long as the sun is not right in your face. But you can't be in the shadow either, or shadow will throw off. So it has to be taken the perfect right way, and then I can probably tell, at least in the vicinity of whether you're cool, warm, or neutral. But it has to be taken the right way. Or if there's one on your page, I might can find it. But I found some, when I was trying, before I found Lime Life, when I was trying makeups in the store, different brands of makeups, I remember there was one, I think who was it? It was one of the ones you buy in the mall. And they had 3 different color lines. They had a cool line, a warm line, and a neutral. I'm like, oh, I should be able to find this. The warms were too orange, the cools were too pink, and the neutral was too brown. And I'm like, well, what am I, nothing? Well, I eventually figured out what the color was, the problem. I was neutral in their line, but they didn't have my shade. So they had ivory, which was a neutral, but it was too light. And then the next color up, I don't remember what it was called, but it was their next color up in neutral, too dark. So the issue was, it was too dark. So I needed an in-between. And a lot of, this is why Lime Life is so good. We have a lot of in-between shades. But a lot of retail makeup doesn't have the shade you need, your in-between shades. I was always in-between shades, and it drove me crazy. All right, now I'm going to do something different. And I suddenly thought of this because I want to put on this color because it matches my purpley look today. This is Ruby Chocolate. And I usually either wear this with dark nude, which is just a nude color of my lips. But as you see, it is not the color of this lipstick. But it's a neutral. So if I want this to stay a light color, I wear this neutral anyway and just kind of blend it. But it's really, you can tell it's not the same color family at all. This looks orange compared to this. So you have to, but my lips are kind of this color. So you just kind of have to color over it. But the color I really like to wear it with normally is called Grape, which is a dark purple. And I mean, this is the darkest purple. It's almost brown. But look at the difference in that. Well, the thing is, we don't have this color of lip liner. So you have to kind of, now the other one you could do is Berry Berry, which is a pink, well, it's kind of, well, it's a raspberry color. And I can't find it. Where are you, Berry Berry? You know, that might be in my purse. But I don't see it. But anyway, it's, where are you? Let's see if I have an extra one over here. But it is, here it is. I probably actually used it up because I know I bought a new one. Here's Berry Berry. So you see it's a raspberry, but look how much darker it is than that and how much pinker. You can tell this is a light mauve kind of purple color. And look at my nail color. See, it is not anything, this is much browner. That might actually, that would go, that would go with the dark nude. I'm just playing with colors. Look how well that matches. Oh my gosh, that would match that. Okay, I like to just play with colors so I know what I'm doing. All right, so that, I've worn that with it before. Still not a good color. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great. So today I had an inspiration. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm going to use an eyeliner to line my lips because we have a purple one. Now this is purple. Purple is like a blue purple, and it's not completely that color, but it's not as dark as grape. Grape is insanely dark, and on me, and I have pale lips and somewhat pale skin. So grape will, this is not grape. Grape will almost black out on me. In other words, it looks darker on me than it will look on somebody with darker lip color and darker skin. But look how dark it is. It is dark. It is like, it's just really dark. All right, this is bluer, but it actually isn't, I don't think it's as dark because when I put it on my eyes, it's not really dark enough for eyeliner to me. So I'm going to be crazy and put eyeliner on my lips. Now this is a waterproof color like our lip liner is. And it doesn't want to draw. I haven't used it in a while. I think it's dried. Let's get it started. Oh yeah, it's not happy with it. I need to sharpen it, I think is the problem. Because I hadn't used it in a while, it dried the tip out a little bit. Try to send it to me, yeah. So you don't want to be in the shadow. And you don't want the sun directly shining on you. But you want to face a window where there is at least outdoor sunshine. This may be past its good date. Because I haven't used it. I don't know if I'm going to make this work or not. I wanted to try it though. Try it again. Yeah, because see, our stuff, it has a shelf life of about a year. Like most makeup. And after that, it's not, it's just dried. You know, you can't leave stuff exposed to the air forever. And I'm still going to try. If I can make it work. It's probably 3 years old. That's what happens to makeup when it gets old. But I want to see what the color does. Because, uh-oh. Click in there. I'm curious now. So yeah, this is not as dark as grape, even though it's pretty dark. But it doesn't look black. I just want to see what it looks like with this lipstick. Doesn't look that bad on your lips, really, does it? I think it's a little similar formula to the lip liners. So this shows you can use our products kind of like multi-purpose. All right, let's try this ruby chocolate with this. What is the name of this? I don't know if I can read it anymore. Is it worn off? Oh no, it's called Powerful Purple Color. And it only comes as this dual-ended one. So you get gold highlighter on one end. And the name of the gold one, what's the name of that one? I don't know if I can read it because it's It's silver printed on gold. It's kind of worn out. Oh, anyway. So here is ruby chocolate. This purple. Oh. I think it's a better option than that grape. Still a little dark, though. So what I'm trying to do here is blend it. So it's a lot darker on my lips than it is on my eyes, apparently. So what I do when it's, not the right shade, is I put this on top so it blends it better. So it doesn't look like you drew a line around your lips. Because that is like very 90s looking. There you go. Purples it up a little bit. Interesting. Doesn't look bad. But it's actually hard for me to tell because that one was too dry. I definitely gotta either get another one or just chuck that one. Oh, I love this eye makeup. It looks good with this lipstick. All right, there we go. I say we're good for today. So let's read our little devotion for today. All right. Yeah, I don't remember. I have to remember when that may have been the original purple that I got. I know it's at least a few years old. It's like, yeah, you can't keep makeup on. Looks good with your shirt. Thank you. As I picked this purposely so I could do purples today. I felt like purple today. All right, here's our little devotion. This is Beth Moore praying God's word day by day. So she says a little statement and then she will do a prayer. And the prayer will be from Psalm 91, 4-7. I love the 91st Psalm. Have you ever read the 91st Psalm? Oh, it's so good. Psalm of protection. It's great. And Zephaniah 3:17. That's what the prayer comes from. And her statement is, when our hearts are hemorrhaging, and we've been there, never forget that Christ binds and compresses them with a nail-scarred hand. So you know what? He knows what a hemorrhaging heart feels like. He knows what pain and heartbreak feels like because he went through it himself. Really pretty. Thank you. And here's the prayer. Father, I thank you for the vivid picture you paint in your word as you promise to cover me with your feathers and grant me refuge under your wings. Your faithfulness will be my shield and rampart. I love it that his faithfulness is our protection. You ever think of it that way? His faithfulness is a protection for us. And he covers us under his feathers and his wings. We are covered and protected. I need not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. Listen to the progression of this. So he does not say, just don't be scared. He is like emphasizing and re-emphasizing and re-emphasizing. Do not fear the terror of night. That's one thing. Nor the arrow that flies by day. That's more. Nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness. There's the third thing. Nor the plague that destroys at midday. You know what he's telling us here? The terror of night. Arrow flies by day. Pestilence that stalks the darkness. Plague that destroys midday. Daytime, nighttime, darkness, light. There's no time to be afraid. Not during the day, not during the night, not during the dark, not during the night. Whatever one I didn't say. Not the day, not the light, not the dark, not the night. It's all covered. And he's stating it. He didn't just say don't be scared. He's giving you, don't be scared now, don't be scared then, don't be scared here, don't be scared. Because he's covering it all. And he wants to make sure you know, and you really know, and you know the third time, and you know the fourth time. This is how much he wants you to know this. 1,000, I love this part right here. 1,000 may fall at my side. I don't care if everybody's dropping around you. 10,000 at my right hand. But you will keep destruction from coming near me. I don't care how many people you see going down or falling. If you pray this and you say, God, I'm putting my faith in this, destruction is not going to come near you. Now, you might feel like, well, gee, this was destroyed. That was destroyed. Yeah, I had a lot of stuff destroyed. My marriage was destroyed. My home was destroyed. My life was destroyed. Yeah, but I wasn't. My soul was not destroyed. My mind, my spirit, reminds you of Noah. Yeah. You're not really being destroyed. It feels like it. I think this is why he may tell us this. There are times that it feels like you're being destroyed, but it is not you. It may be things affecting you. It may be things around you. It may be things you didn't want to lose, but still, you are not being destroyed because he is there protecting you. And the final part says, you, Lord God, are with me. That's why you're not being destroyed. He's holding you in his hand. He's with you. He's there with you. He's not going to allow it. You are mighty to save. You will take great delight in me. Don't you love that? He delights. You ever feel like God doesn't really like you? I have had that thought, that feeling, because things have happened that I thought, God, why do you hate me? You wouldn't think so. When I found out and realized that he wasn't ever going to give me children, which I still don't understand, there was a reaction I had one day like, why does God hate me? But he doesn't. It says not only does he not hate you, he takes delight in you. Great delight in you. You will quiet me with your love. See, it's interesting. He says he's going to quiet you. What does that mean? That means you're upset. Why would you need to be quieted if you're not upset? Why would you need to be quieted if you weren't going through something that was distressing you? It says, you will quiet me. That's telling us there are times we're going to go through trouble and turmoil, or we wouldn't need quieting. So it says, you will quiet me with your love. You will rejoice over me. That's how much his love is for us, with singing. You will rejoice over me with singing. I've said this before, but when I first found myself alone and abandoned and living on my own, there were times I would wake up in the morning and be like between waking and sleeping, and I would hear a song in my head. Not literally, I'm hearing it in my ears, but I'm hearing a song just play in my head. And usually it was something I needed to hear. And there was one day I remember, and I just thought, it's like I felt like I knew God was allowing that to happen. Because it was usually a song I hadn't heard for 20, 25 years. It wasn't something in my head from recent. And I remember one day hearing this song, and it's actually called Fear Not, My Child. Only in my head that morning, I was hearing it, Hold On, My Child. And I don't know why I was hearing it that way. I didn't realize, and I just kept hearing this song in my head all day. And I thought, I know this song. Who sings that? And I couldn't remember who sang it. And so I started looking for it, but I was looking for it, Hold On, My Child, and I couldn't find it. And then I'm like, how come I can't find that song? I hadn't heard that for 30 years. And then I realized when it finally popped up, it's Fear Not, My Child. And I'm like, how come I was hearing that Hold On instead of Fear Not? What does that mean? And I thought, you know what? I wasn't experiencing fear. So I don't think I needed to hear Fear Not. I think I needed to hear Hold On. So it had changed to what I needed to hear. And then I found out the singer of that original song, though, was Carmen. Now, Carmen was a Christian singer in the 80s. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Carmen. I used to listen to his music all the time. I mean, all the time. He was very popular. He did a lot of songs. His songs were good. He wrote his own songs. And I thought, wait a minute. I heard a voice in my head singing that song. It wasn't Carmen. Because I knew his voice. He was Italian New Yorker. If you ever heard an Italian New Yorker, they have an extremely strong accent. And he did, even his singing. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't Carmen. And then I'm like, well, who was that? I heard a male voice in my head. It was not Carmen. And I'm like, was that an angel? God, was that you? God, do you sing in heads? And then I found the scripture one day. You'll rejoice over me with singing. And I'm like, oh, you do. You sing. You just said it. Zechariah. You sing. I know. Isn't it awesome? It gave me chills when I found that Bible verse. I'm like, oh my gosh. God, you were singing to me. That's how much he cared about my heartbreak. That's how much he cared about the fact that I was alone. That's how much he cared that I didn't have anybody to talk to me even anymore. I was waking up, the voice of God in my head singing, hold on, my child. Just what I needed, just what I had to hear. And I'm like, God, you're singing to me. How much love is that? How much do I mean to him? That he spent time to put a song in my head with a voice that was not the voice of that singer. Holy Spirit. Yeah, that was the Holy Spirit. You've experienced it. Yeah. Thank you. That, to me, was one of the most meaningful things that I felt ever happened to me. That he was calling me his child, which I knew I was. You know you're God's child, but to have him say to you, my child, hold on, my child, in that song, when that wasn't even really the words of the song, was fear not, my child. Like, he changed it. He changed it to what I needed to hear. And it was just pure love. And it was an awesome thing. In the midst of heartbreak, he can give you comfort. And I love that. So I hope that blessed you today. And I am all done for now. And I'm going to go. And I am now at a 74-pound weight loss. I am almost to my goal. I think I have like 6 pounds ago. I am in my healthy weight range now. And I want to get to the middle, which is only 6 more pounds. And I'm very excited about that. I have done this with loseit.com. That is a calorie counting app. You put in what you eat. They already know the calories of it. You say, I ate half a cup of broccoli. And it goes, there's 27 calories or whatever. I think that's what it is. It knows. And it gives you options. You just pick from the drop down what you ate, how much you ate of it. And poof, it tells you how many you eat. Stay within your calories for the day. And you lose weight because you're in a calorie deficit. That's really the best way to lose weight. And as of last Friday, not yesterday, but last week, I started adding in intermittent fasting. I've heard of that. Never researched it though. I thought, I don't need that. I'm doing this. And then I found out that has extra benefits. It can cause your liver to empty itself of extra sugar. It can cause your body to do a self-cleanse. And it will start burning your fat storage instead of what you ate for fuel. It'll start burning your storage for fuel even better. And it's called intermittent fasting. You could probably just look up fasting and it will show, because it's really popular, and there's different versions of it. There's one where you fast and don't eat for 2 or 3 days. I'm not doing that. There's another one where you have 2 days a week where you only eat 500 or 600 calories. I'm not doing that. The one I'm doing is the hourly one. So what you do is you fast, don't eat a thing, for somewhere between 12 and 16 hours a day. This includes while you sleep. Dedication, yep, and determination. So it's going to cover you sleeping. So if you sleep for 8 hours and you do the 12-hour one, quit eating 2 hours before bed, don't eat 2 hours before you get up. Or quit eating 4 hours before bed and eat right away when you get up. However you want to do it. It has to be at least 12 hours. So you eat whatever you're going to eat that day for your 12 hours, and then you don't eat for 12 hours. But they say you get the most health benefits if you do 16 and 8, meaning you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. And they say you can just kind of eat whatever you want. I'm not doing the eat whatever you want, because it also says that's limited. You will lose weight doing that, but you will hit a plateau, because what you really need is to eat fewer calories than you need. So I was already doing the calories. So now, and I'm not stopping that. So now I'm adding in intermittent fasting, because if it's going to use up and empty any sugar stored in my liver, it is going to cause me to start using more fat stores. So during the time when you stop eating until you eat again, when your body needs energy, it doesn't have any because you didn't eat. And so then it's going to start eating your fat stores. And if you have damaged cells in your body, it will start consuming them and destroying them. So I'm like, oh, that all sounds awesome. So I said, I took stock of what I was already doing, because I'm already eating, like I'm spacing out my food. I was already fasting 10, 11 hours, because I was eating at 10 in the morning, because I was going to get hungry before then. So I would start at 10 in the morning, and I was quitting at 11 o'clock or midnight. So that's already, I'm not eating 10, 11 hours. I'm like, well, I really only have to add in like an hour of fasting. Let me try that. So I did it. Didn't even notice a difference as far as my appetite. So then the next day I said, let me do 13. Then I got busy doing something and didn't eat till 14 hours and thought, well, that was easy too. And so then I said, let me do 15 the next day. So then the next day I did 15 hours of no eating and then eating the hours in between. But they say the magic one is 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. Because when you get to that 16-hour fasting, that's when your body really starts ridding itself of damaged cells, sugar, and fat storage. So I'm like, I really want to get to the 16 hours. So then after I did the 15, I'm just sneaking up on it. And they say that's a good thing to do. Don't do it all at once. Start with 12 hours. Then do 13. Then do 40. When I got to 16, the first day I did 16, the next day I lost a pound. The second day I had 16, the next day I lost a pound. 2 days of doing 16 hours, lost 2 pounds. And I'm like, holy cow. Now, that hasn't happened every day, but the first 2 days I started doing it, I lost 2 extra pounds. Like, boom, boom. And when you get close to your goal and you've been dieting, you don't lose weight that quick anymore. You lose 0.2, and then you wait and you wait and you wait, and you lose 0.4. And then you wait and you wait and you wait. No, I lost 2 pounds in 2 days. And I'm like, whoa. It's really good. So it's worth trying. Like I said, don't try to go to 16 the first day if you aren't doing it. The name of the app, loseit.com. So it's like lose it with an apostrophe.com. Now that app is free. There is a pay version. I've never done pay version, but you know how they'll do it. You get a free app, and then they'll say if you want to upgrade, pay. I don't upgrade. You don't need to upgrade. Do the free. Loseit.com. And then the other one is intermittent fasting. That I don't have any kind of website or anything, but you can Google it and read about it. But the health benefits sounded awesome, and that it helps weight loss. And you can do the intermittent fasting by itself and get some weight loss. But it depends on what you eat. So if you're really eating high calorie food, you're going to get minimal weight loss. But if you're doing calorie counting mixed with intermittent fasting, whoo, that ramps up. Because it did. So loseit.com and look up intermittent fasting, or just say fasting and it'll show it too, because it's really popular. And so far I'm good with it. I'm really liking it. But I loved the health benefits in addition to weight loss. I'm like, if it's going to clear out damaged cells, empty my liver of sugar, and start burning more fat storage, because when your body isn't getting fuel for a little while, it'll burn what's there. That's what it's doing. And it will say, ooh, damaged cells, we need fuel, we don't want these damaged cells, it'll use it up. From what I read, that's what it does. But you don't want to fast and not eat enough food, or your body will go into starvation mode and start storing everything. So you have to kind of keep this balance of fasting 16 hours, eat 8 hours, fasting 16. So you don't underdo it either, or it will backfire, because that's what it does. Yeah, Holly got makeup today from Lime Life. She can't wait to use it. She got this lipstick. It is pretty. And she got foundation lipstick. So, loseit.com. Yep. That's it. So, there are other ones too. But you can look up calorie counting app, but that's the one I use. But it's real easy because it's already in there. Type in, beans, and it will say green beans, pinto beans, pick it. And then you pick the amount you ate. So it adds it for you. That's what so you tell it your weight. You tell it what your goal is. And then it will also tell you will reach your goal by July 16th of 20 whatever. Now, that adjusts up and down. Depends on what your weight loss actually is. But it will tell you, and I found that very motivating. Because when I put it in and it says you will reach this in June of something, I'm like, that's coming fast. I'm going to be done. Now, mine went forward. Mine originally told me I would reach my goal in last January. And I'm like, nah, it ain't gonna be that fast. I knew it wasn't gonna be that fast. But see, it just depends on how fast your body loses weight. And plus, I've been trying to work out too. Minimally. I'm not a big workout person, but I'm trying to do it minimally. But it will adjust so if you don't lose as much weight as you intended to lose. Like and you pick how fast you want to lose. You can do anything between a half a pound a week up to 2 pounds a week. But that's your goal. That's not a guarantee. So sometimes I would lose 2 or 3, 4 pounds a week. Sometimes I'd lose 1. So you're not going to always hit it. And so it will adjust your date up and down depending on what your body actually does. But you see the end. You see the end coming. That's what. And when you reach your goal, they have a maintenance plan, which basically means you get to eat a little bit more calories. And you just switch it. You have to switch it to, I have now reached my goal. I want maintenance. Or you can reset your goal if you want to go further down. So it's very user friendly. It's very motivating. So exercise builds muscle and weight. Yes, it does. Exercise. You can actually, if you start exercising and you haven't been exercising, you're very likely to initially gain weight because you're going to be building muscle. And also when you start using muscles you haven't been using, they're going to kind of be a little injured, meaning you initially will get a little inflammation because you're making them work and they haven't, and they're going to kind of pitch a little fit. Even if you don't overdo your muscles, you're going to be using muscles, and it causes a little inflammation or damage. And so what happens, your body puts water to try to heal your muscle. And so it'll cause you to maybe gain a little water while your body is trying to heal a muscle that you are now using that you haven't been using. And then once your muscle kind of heals itself, it'll quit doing that. But in the beginning, when you start using muscles you haven't been using, you might actually gain weight. And it's really aggravating. But if you know what it is. And if you can't do much exercise, that's okay. You can lay in bed. You can lay in bed and go like this, kick your legs. You can do whatever you're able to do. I remember one time my grandmother, she had neuropathy and she wasn't able to do a whole lot of stuff. And she was staying with my mother at the time, and my mother walked by and my grandmother was laying in the bed going like this. And my mom's like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm exercising my fingers. But you know what? If you've ever had fingers that hurt or had an issue, the older you get, exercise your fingers. Because it keeps your grip strength. So it's really, you might think it's funny when you're young. When you're older, you don't think it's funny anymore. It's not funny. Because my mother did too. She eventually got to where she didn't have a good grip. It's not a funny thing, really. But it looked funny because she's laying in bed going like this. It was something. At least she was trying, right? You think you have some apps where you can exercise in a chair? Yeah. Or lay in bed, like you said. Mm-hmm. You don't know if they're free or if they work. You probably can find some free ones. I ordered, it was years ago. I've had it for years now. I ordered it's called a Pilates reformer. It's an exercise equipment thing. It was created originally to use in rehab centers for people who had surgery or injuries or whatever that they need to be rehabbed. And I ordered it specifically because it's a bed-like thing. You lay on it. You do most of the exercises, lay on your back. And it has a bar at the end, and you put your feet on it. And it's a moving bed like this. So part of it stays like this, and the other part, the platform moves. And you lay on this, and there's a bar over here. You put your feet up there, and you push it, and you're using your own weight to put, muscle strength. And it's got straps, and so you can go like this, lay on your back. And I'm like, yeah, laying down exercise, that's my style. And there are some you can do standing on it, like you can stand on the platform that moves and the end that doesn't and go like this with your legs. So you can do standing, you can do sitting. But I love that I can just lay on that thing, and it has a little trampoline bottom that you can put in instead of the bar, and then you can jump, laying on your back. No impact on the knees, no impact on the feet, ankles, nothing. You're laying down and you're going like this on a little upright trampoline. It's upright like this, and you're going like this with your feet. And it gives, because it's a little trampoline. I love that thing. Because if I'm like, I'm so tired, I don't feel like exercising, I can lay down. And it's pretty good because it's Pilates. It's a Pilates exerciser, a Pilates reformer. Pilates does a lot of work for your core and strengthening muscles. So I love that. It's called, what is the name of that one? There's a certain woman that sells that one with the trampoline. I think she was on either QVC or Home Shopping Channel. I think is where I got it. But it was probably 15 years ago I got that. But I love that thing because it's like, I don't even feel like holding myself upright today. I'm so tired. I'm going to lay down on my back and jump the trampoline. Or, you know, you can do all kind of stuff with, you can do this with your feet. You can put, oh, and you put your legs in the straps, your arms in the straps. It's awesome. So yeah, I love the lay down exercise or the sit in the chair exercise. You can exercise your stomach in the chair. You sit down and then just lift your leg like this. Just lift your leg because your stomach is going to have to pull your leg up. And you can exercise your stomach sitting in a chair. Pick both legs. You can do, you know, you do them like this. You can do them up and down. So yeah, sitting in the chair, you can do some good exercises. All right, so I'm going to go. I hope you have a very blessed day. Thank you for watching. Until next time, go be amazing and God bless you. Bye.